put that money to the long-term recovery group, so that those can be used for direct dollars. They'll be used to help people recover. So that was very encouraging. We'll continue to meet. We'll have our first meeting of the year tomorrow night at the American Red Cross, who graciously allows us to meet in their building. And so we're working very hard. We have a board of 14 people, community leaders, who are working together. There's an unmet needs group that meets weekly. And so right now, all of the work that is happening for those who need help is going through case management through the Salvation Army. So if you call and you have, like Reimagine, if you're the Gray Road Fire and you call Reimagine Medical Aid, they might refer you first to the case manager. So the case managers are tracking everything that's happening, who's getting help with what, and then we do have some immediate dollars that might be available here locally through Reimagine Medical Aid, but everything starts back through case management. So I just wanted to, is that the best way to say that, Jerry? Okay, so anyway, we'll try to get this done efficiently tonight. So let's just start off then with having Salvation Army come up, and we'll talk about cases and progress that's being made. And then I don't know if you have any questions. We do have some pieces of paper we were asking. Maybe those questions could be made in writing, so we can consolidate them a little bit and add some efficiency to our meetings. So raise your hand. I can always bring you a slip of paper if you have a question. But of course, we'll be taking questions from the audience. This is Andrea Reedy. She is with the Salvation Army, and I believe she's the director.
Yep, Director of Business.
Director of Business. Andrea's been a great partner. So welcome, Andrea.
Thank you. Hello. So I am not one of the case managers, but the case managers report to me, and we have meetings very, very often. The case managers are over here, Bill and Alasia. So if you've called or gone and seen them, they should look familiar, or their voices would sound familiar if they spoke. They have contacted about 100 families. So if you have not been contacted, they have flyers again tonight. They have business cards. Reach out to them, and they'll get your cases open. There's a lot of different resources coming. So there's resources now, and then as we are learning and going, more and more resources are opening up. So if you don't qualify for something right now, it doesn't mean you will never qualify for something. So I encourage you to reach out to them, let them know your needs, and then just get established with them. They're out here Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, and then they're in Spokane for those of you who may work in Spokane on Wednesdays and Fridays, and then also able to come out to your properties to take pictures or whatever else needs done on Wednesdays and Fridays by appointment. So I think that is about all I have to update.
Location?
Oh.
Can you tell us where you're meeting? I think you're at Lutheran Church and maybe a little bit.
So starting on Tuesday, because Monday's a holiday, so they're going to be off, but Tuesday they'll be at St. John Lutheran Church. They do have flyers with the address on it, because I don't remember it in my head right now. But they'll be there, the doors will be open, they'll be ready to see you. Maybe.
Great, so those flyers are here tonight, so be sure to get one of those before you leave. Those of you online, the flyers are here, and we can also post that on our website. Oh, can we get that just a second?
I got it.
Oh, thank you, Kay. So while we're waiting for that question to come up, and for those that just came in, there is a paper here. If you want to give have a question, we'd ask that you put that in writing, so we can consolidate those. And then also we found that some people said, you know, I didn't really wasn't comfortable asking a question. So we thought, well, let's just put it all in writing, and then it'll be anonymous. So there you go.
This is for Salvation Army.
Oh, Salvation Army question. Okay, so the question is, and I've heard this before, so what exactly do they do? What information are you asking for, and why? You want to speak to that a little bit?
Let's go ahead and come up here.
Come on, Alicia. Woo! You can do it. Yes, you can. I think there's a.
So some of you might know me, we've met before, so I'm a case manager here for the Medical Lake area. So basically, the intake process is us gathering information so that we have that so we can be an advocate for you and we can reach out to resources that might match your needs. It helps to have the information so we can go straight to the source and say, okay, this is my client, this is their situation. We'll never use your personal information like your name, your date of birth. We have a family. It's a family of two, they're married, they have children, that type of stuff to see if we can match resources to you.
So and they wanted to know what information do you ask of them for you, and then why is that?
So we do ask for income information. It does give us a bigger picture of where you were previously, where you are now, because we have a lot of people who lost their business in the fire. So we're able to bring that and say, okay, this was their income beforehand, this is their income now. We have a huge shortfall now with expenses. So we basically ask for your ID just to verify you are who you say you are, information to verify that your address did burn in the fire, and then just income information, simple things that if we were to go to a resource and they need that type of information, we'll have it on hand.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you so much. That's really helpful. And it is important that they're able to verify. So there's been some fraudulent work out there. People who are using your addresses and saying that their house burned down, and we found that that's not good. So it's just more important that we identify you to protect you, actually. So I'd like to ask Chandra Fox. She's with Spokane County Emergency Management. She's going to talk about those state grants that have come, what money has been used, and what's coming and what you can expect here in the near future. So welcome, Chandra.
Thank you. So good evening, everyone. Before I start my report, I want to just touch on the income question briefly. Part of the reason why the disaster case managers need your income information is because some of the resources that are available are income dependent. So for example, some of the state money that we are using for the debris removal program and things like that, that's designated specifically for folks who have at an income level of 80% of the area median income. So we have to verify that. So that's part of the reason why that question is asked.
I can speak to that in a second. I can speak to that in just a moment.
Yeah. So, and then one other thing before I get to my numbers, we are, if you haven't heard, we're expecting frigid temperatures beginning over the weekend and into next week. So if you are any of the folks who are currently living in your RVs, if you feel that that is no longer doable for you with the temperatures that we're expecting, please reach out to your disaster case manager. If you don't have one yet, please get one, because we do have funding available for assistance to get you a motel room or something, you know, through this frigid cold weather. So please do take advantage of that and talk to your disaster case manager about that, okay? So let me put my glasses on so I can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so from you may remember that our original state individual assistance grant was 1.25 million. And of that, we have earmarked the asbestos testing money, and out of that so far, we have spent $26,470. We have also, that funding stream is paying for our contract with Salvation Army for disaster case management. Also, that funding is paying for $50,000 to the long-term recovery group to support their formation and initial staffing. And then we have $285,000 earmarked for transitional housing. And within the transitional housing bucket, that included the weatherization materials and supplies for the RV project. It includes also the Connex box project that is underway up in Elk, where they're taking 40-foot Connex boxes and they are turning them into temporary tiny homes, which is actually pretty cool. And then we also have a small amount, $20,000 earmarked out of that money for household needs assistance. And that's things like appliance replacement, It could be repairs to your automobile, stuff like that. And those things are accessed again through your disaster case manager. Those are some of the needs. If you have those needs, you tell your case manager and they bring it forward to be addressed. We have not yet started our reimbursement program, but we will be shortly, hopefully by the end of the month, beginning reimbursement for those of you who paid for your asbestos testing out of pocket. We'll be able to reimburse those costs to you. And then folks who have paid for the winterization materials for their RVs, we also have funds available to reimburse those costs as well. There will be a form, again, accessed through your disaster case manager. They will have a form that you will need to fill out because those reimbursements will be processed through the county's payable process. And our auditor has a form and process that they want us to follow. That gives us remaining our $3.75 million for debris removal. We currently have contracts with 4 companies working throughout the county at both sites. If you were among the original folks who were contacted by our state disaster reservists, so that was Raphael and Vaughn. Some of you may have talked to either of them. If you had been vetted through that process, your property and your contact information has been assigned to one of our contracted companies. And so they will be contacting you directly to get your debris removal process started. And to date on that process so far, should have put my glasses up, sorry. To date, we have spent $68,642 as of the 9th of January in debris removal costs.
Great,
So, okay.
super. Okay.
Thank you, Chandra, so much. And, you know, there's been a lot of great work that is starting to happen. As they say, speed of government, not speed of life. So we're working on that. But appreciate and all the effort. Everybody that's working on this really does want to do what's best. So the Innovia, the money that's been donated to Innovia. So Innovia is a foundation. Innovia does not give money directly to people. Innovia gives money to nonprofit organizations. So they are a nonprofit organization. That's how foundations work. And they give to nonprofits doing the good work. Those dollars are for long-term recovery. It's not like there's X number of people that have been impacted, divide the money, here's your check. It doesn't work. So everything is happening through case management. Case managers are working directly with people from your community, like Reimagine Medical Aid and myself. That board has folks on it, community leaders, but from both cities, from both regions, I should say, the Gray Road Fire and then the Oregon Road Fire. So they sit on that board. It's a decision. Those decisions are made by policies that are being established, and then the case managers bring those needs. The case manager looks at how you were positioned before, where you are now, and you know what you've received so far from insurance and assistance and all of those things, and then what are the gaps, and then what help might you need to get closer to whole. But the goal is that nobody can really make you whole, but the goal is that get you close enough that you can begin rebuilding your life and get back to where you were. So there's a lot of work to be done. We have organizations coming from all over the nation to help, wanting to get started in the spring, and especially be helping those folks who maybe were not insured at all, lost everything, and then how do they rebuild? But it's not limited to just those folks. So even this debris management money, this second round, if you will, that's coming in, is not supposed to have all of those same limitations, that they can be used, for people who are underinsured, and even insured. So it'll still be gradually used that way, but it's not limited to just those who are not insured. So keep your receipts, no, promises, because we have to see how many cases are coming forward. And, just let you know that, Sunny Weathers, city administrator, and myself, along with, Kay Peterson. So Kay, she's been great about doing the communication. She's also lost a home, but she's gonna go with us to Olympia and be your voice. So you need to, one, be grateful that, we have partners over in Olympia that are willing to listen, and hear, what the impacts are from somebody who's gone through what you've gone through. And we also have another great community partner, Kara, and she's with, Creative Solutions, also for medical aid. So we have all day, every day, meetings lined up. We're gonna testify, we're asking for more money, we're asking for long-term recovery groups to be established for the state of Washington. And why is that important? Right, so here we are 5 months out, and we're really just getting to the place where we have case managers working on cases, long-term recovery groups set up. And it's called long-term because it's gonna take a while. So continuing to raise awareness, raise funding, so that we can help people get their lives put back together again. And it's important that we have the state fund that. They don't have a funded recovery program at all. They have incident command and the fire's out and everyone goes home. That's what happened to us. That's why we've had these meetings. We're trying to get resources and people together to help. If it were funded in advance, we would have been rolling all of this out months ago. So that's the goal. So we're learning, we're growing together, we're helping each other, but in the future, other communities that are impacted like we are, have been, maybe we'll have more help than we've had. So, well, more expedited help, I should say. And then we don't have to go asking for the money. Thankfully, the state was very gracious. They haven't always funded what they've funded for us. Believe it or not, everyone I talked to around the nation said, it doesn't usually happen this fast either. And you guys are knocking it out of the park. And it's like, well, it doesn't feel like knocking it out of the park when we talk to people who are, and here it is January, right? So sympathetic to that, but, it's good to see you. I just want to reassure you that, the good work continues and we're going to keep contending, for more changes at the state level, more funding, more resilient response, so that we can have a more resilient recovery. So that's really all I have for tonight, but I am open to take questions. And I don't know that we had any questions that came in by email. None. So any questions I can answer for you then tonight? Yes, ma'am. So the question is, there looks like there's still some trees that may be in strike distance of a power line, or some other areas maybe, and is there any effort for that to happen? So all of the volunteer effort for tree removal is done for now. If you see a tree that you think is in strike distance of a power line, please call Vista or Inland Power if you happen to be with them. And then also, if it's strike distance of the road, if you're in city limits, you'll probably want to let us know that if it's in the right of way. If it's outside of the city limits, and that would be Spokane County. And if you get lost somewhere in the way, contact us and we can try and connect you with somebody who could go out and look at that. So in the back. The next meeting is scheduled for, yes, February 21st, 6 o'clock in this room, and it will be on open. 6:30, we have committee meetings, 6:30, same time, same back station, same back. So, yes, I'll get you just a second. Yes.
As far as the reimbursement on the asbestos,
So, Salvation Army case managers, they'll have flyers down here and everything has to go through case management. Absolutely, yes.
Just wondering if there's any resources for further tree, not removal, but if we had some debris we want to get rid of, is there any place we can take it and dump it for reduced costs or even free?
Nothing, yeah, that would be nice. So nothing at this time, you know, we had thousands and thousands of yards of debris that was shredded, that was paid for. There may be more opportunity for shredding in the spring. Right now, we're not doing that. Spokane Clean Air did fund $40,000 for vegetation management. So probably early in the spring, we'll see an effort. And there's some funding there that we can pay for that. So, and be patient maybe, and, until then, Spokane Clean Air did fund that in an effort to, deter burning and, you know, especially in the winter when we have such stagnant air, can't have stagnant air, so.
Do you know what their attitude is going to be on whether or not we can burn on our lots?
You can check on the Spokane Clean Air, but also the DNR website talks about the size of burn pile you can have a small, and, but in city limits, you can't do any burning, but outside of the city, there is some limited burn you can do, but I would check with that agency. It's a small fire. If you want a larger fire, you have to get a permit. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So I believe that we applied for the asbestos reimbursement through Raphael. Did that go over to Salvation Army, or do we reapply?
That's a good question. So the question was that we applied and through Raphael, which was the state emergency management folks, for the asbestos removal, and that looked like it was approved. Haven't heard anything yet. So then what happens? Did that go to case management or did that go to the county? So I'll answer it if I'm wrong. Jump up and say that's wrong answer. I believe the answer is that case has already been assigned to a contractor who should be contacting you. And then I don't know what else.
I just want to clarify your question.
Please.
So, so did you pay for your own asbestos and you're looking for reimbursement?
Oh, I misunderstood.
Okay. Right. So the database that Raphael and Bond worked on was handed over to our disaster case managers. And so as soon as I have my auditor's approval on my form and everything, then the DCMs will have that list and they'll be able to reach back to folks. And because you're going to need to provide your invoices, and unfortunately, because it's the county, and you're going to get a check from the county, they're going to ask you for a W-9. So, but the DCMs will work through that with them.
Great, no.
That was a good question. All these questions have been very good. Any others? Yes, sir.
With all the trees down,
So with all the trees down, is your firewood available? There was some earlier, it was over by, West Medical. I see a hand down here. Sounds like you can work that out amongst yourselves. But in the spring, we'll have Team Rubicon will be back. As you remember, they did such a great job. They helped, you know, take down trees, and that's kind of their specialty is, you know, bucking that up into firewood and make little stacks. And so, that will happen again in the spring. We'll start with them because they do start kind of with the firewood. But, you know, maybe work through, you know, your neighbors and each other. If you, have a need for firework, and I see there's some of your, you may have some firewood, we can work that out together. But also, let that need be made known to Reimagine Medical Lake. They're a great connector of people and services and volunteers, and that's why they exist, is to serve you. And so, and I do want to give applause to Reimagine Medical Lake because they have done an incredible job of taking on this blessed burden for our community. So, any other questions? Yes.
Would it be okay if I quickly share about what we have at the Wellness Center for the community?
Yes, so the question was, can I come up? Go ahead and come up. She's going to share our resources available through the Wellness Center, with the school district. I also know through Reimagine, they still have the Spiritual and Emotional Needs Committee, Unmet Needs Committee. And so if you have needs, go directly to Reimagine. And if it's something that they say, yep, that's a case manager thing, they'll send you there, but you're not forgotten. Still continue to work, with your local, because that works best when we all do it together. So, yeah, thank you.
I'm Nikki Bauman. I'm the parent and family partner for the Medical Lake School District. And I don't know if you've seen me on some of the Facebook posts, but we do a lot of things out of the Wellness Center over here. If you've been here a long time, it used to be the Rockwood Clinic, I believe, and it's at 317 North Broad. So we have therapy available. We just have, like, if you just need to connect with someone, you can come in and talk with me, you can talk with therapists, just kind of check in with other people. We'd love to put together just a connection group of people that feel like maybe they need a little extra emotional support throughout this. I can only imagine how this has been, and it probably feels sort of isolating sometimes. So we would love to be able to do that as well. I do have some documentation out on the table. There's a brochure that has my contact information on it and other things that we have. There's a list of our upcoming community classes. We have a class coming up on grief and loss, so that might be a really good opportunity for you all. And then we also have, excuse me, an email address that you can email to, the wecare@mlsd.org. And it goes directly into a ticketing system. And then one of us will get that ticket depending on what the need is. So we really encourage you to reach out to the school district as well, that we want to support you and provide whatever those needs are. We don't know necessarily, so please share if there's something that we can bring to you. We would love to try. Yes, ma'am. That's an amazing question, thank you. Absolutely not. You don't have to have kids in the district or be even connected to the school the same way. We support the entire community, and that includes therapy. We have free therapy services for anyone in the community that wants to come in and access that. On the brochure that we have, you can actually just click on that and sign up. And then one of our therapists will reach out to you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Anything else that became a question or concern on your mind this evening? Like I said, in just a few couple months, we're going to be gearing up again. Mr. Cooper.
I have an online question.
And go ahead. What is the online question?
They're asking about the FEMA status, and specifically, they'd like to know if there's going to be low interest loans at any point.
Great question. What's the FEMA status, and are there low interest loans? FEMA status is still not determined, so it's either a yes nor a no. The low interest loans that come through Small Business Association, which can be used for gaps or mortgages at a lower interest rate, those cannot begin until the FEMA decision is made. And so we're just waiting on that. And as you know, Congress has their budget issues that they're working on, and there were many disasters nationwide. And the feeling is that the president is trying to find a way to say yes, but nothing has been approved or denied. It's in limbo. So as soon as that decision is made, either yes or no, then the SBA can begin to make those funds available for the low interest loans. Mr. Cooper.
I just wanted to let everybody know that there's a bunch of things coming up missing. So people have had things stolen off their property, new doors, new windows, things like that. I don't know, you guys want to put up a game cam or something? I've been going through the neighborhoods quite often just to recognize some of the builders and contractors that are out there, and just making myself known. But at night and I don't know when, but things have been coming up missing. So I want everybody to be aware of that. I want that, spread it to your neighbors, to keep an eye on who's there, and if they should be there, basically. I think that's really important that we watch out for each other. So that's what I want to tell you, that I've noticed.
And if you think that you have had something, be sure that you report that to the sheriff's office through Crime Check so that we get some data points and know, if there's a problem. So they are tracking some things right now, and working hard to come up with, some suspects. But having those game cameras really does help. You'd be surprised what you can get from a license plate or, a description, physical description of somebody. So, I'm sorry that's happening, but the sheriff is doing extra patrols at night as well. So I was just, had a meeting this weekend, and talked about that. So I just want you to know they are doing extra patrols. So I think sometimes during the day, when builders maybe are dropping things, and others are driving through the neighborhood, it's hard to tell who's picking up and who's dropping off. I think that's where we're seeing the biggest problem. And so knowing who's supposed to be there, and if in doubt, call Crime Check. It never hurts to have them prove their right to be there. And I think that's what we're gonna have to do. So, anybody else? You report it to Crime Check, and then they track those data points, they call them hot spots, so they can see it's all happening, in the medical acute, whatever. Yeah.
Are you guys able to create a law like she did for,
Able to create what about the money? I didn't hear that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the long-term recovery group, we're just setting up our website, and the long-term recovery group will become the clearinghouse for all of that. So you'll watch for reports. Like I said, we meet twice a month now, and Innovia is reporting their balance, what they spend, what agencies. But again, they're a nonprofit to nonprofit, so they give like New Hope in the Elk area, or to Reimagine Medical Aid, or to other nonprofits. But they do report that. Mm-hmm. Good question. Anybody else? Yes.
I have another online. Someone's asking if there's any assistance through Reimagine grants.
So is there any assistance through Reimagine grants? So Reimagine grants are that immediate need. And so when you reach out to Reimagine, it depends on what the need is. So the answer is yes. You'll go to their website, is that right, Jerry? Yeah, so you'll go to medicalaid.org, all one word, medicalaid.org, go to the Gray Road Fire, there's a grant application there, you can fill that out online. And so they'll look at that, and then someone will be in touch with you to tell you next steps. Anything else? So I want to congratulate you on being a resilient community. And I know it doesn't feel so resilient right now, but you really are doing well. You're making progress, and just being together helps everybody. So, be courageous, be strong, reach out to your neighbors, reach out to, our community leaders here, and let us know how we can help you. So we're going to get through this. I have no doubt, and we're going to keep meeting until nobody comes anymore. So we're here. We want to help. We're trying, and we just really wish you the best. And we'll see you, at the end of February. But again, reach out to your case managers. If you haven't signed up with Salvation Army, do that. So that's what they've been hired to do, is to help you. So we appreciate all the work that you've done here. And so again, they'll be in that flyer, because they'll be housed then at the Lutheran Church here soon. So thank you so much. With that, have a good night. Yeah.
So I told, Mary the other when I was chatting with her, we are bringing in June, I think it is, the